gradient. I went a little bit overboard with the heading here, got a little bit fancy. It was called procrastination, but we're here now. So, gradient, we've spoken about it already, but we need to find how we need to determine the gradient. How are we going to do that? If we're given a graph, how are we going to find the slope? What that n value should be if I'm given two coordinates, if I'm asked to write the equation for a line I'm given. We need to know how to determine the gradient. So make sure you get this rule down. Slope or gradient, which we also write as n, is equal to rise over run. This should ring a bell. You would have done it last year. Rise over run. And that formula next to rise over run, y2 take y1 over x2 take x1, seems a bit confusing, but all it really means is change in y over change in x. So it just means if I'm looking at a line, how far is my y value moved? So in the vertical direction. And that's going to be divided by how far my x value has changed in the horizontal direction. So remembering, run is the horizontal or the movement to the right, and rise is the vertical movement, and that could be either up or down. Run will always be movement to the right, never left, and rise can be up or down. Please make sure you have that written down. Now again, you should know it, a positive gradient. Remember the little man at the bottom of the mountain? If you read it from left to right, if I put a little bloke here and he's walking left to right, he's going to walk up the mountain. So it's a positive gradient. And here a graph that looks like this, if I put him on the left-hand side and he's walking towards the right, he's going to be walking down the mountain. So we call that a negative gradient. All right, let's try. So we're going to pick 2 points. Now this might not be too easy to see, but I'll do my best. We need to pick 2 points that line goes through. And when I say points, it needs to be in the corner of one of these little cubes that it goes through, right in the corner. If it's not, it just makes it really hard, and you can't really determine the fraction straight away. So let's make it easy. Down here, that's a corner. I'm going to write my coordinate next to it. Coordinate there is -4. So -4, -10. That's my coordinate. And let's pick another one. Let's go this guy up here. The coordinate for that is -2, +10. All right. How are we going to put that into the equation? Piece of cake. Let's label this guy. This is point 1, because if we read it from left to right, that's the first point we come across. And that's point 2. So take your y value from point 2, because that 2 means from your second point, take your y value. Y value in point 2 is 10. So we're going to go 10. And then we're going to take our y value from point 1, which is -10. Now, if we take -10, if we're taking away a negative, we're actually adding it. So it's going to be +10. That's going to be over the top of our second x value, which is -2. And that's going to be take -4. So if we're taking away a negative, we're adding it. Simplify it. 10 plus 10 is 20. -2 plus 4 is 2. 20 divided by 2 equals 10. So m, in this case, or the slope, is equal to 10. And we can actually check that, because if I go across 1, count how many units it's gone up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. M is equal to 10. Let's do one more. I'll give you a second to try this yourself. Pick any 2 points. If you're confident with it, pause the video now. If you're not too sure, wait another couple of seconds. I'm going to pick 2 points for you, and then you can try it. All right, let's go 2 points. That's a corner there. And that's a corner there. Completely random. I didn't think about it. I just looked at the graph and I'm like, all right, where do they pass through a corner of one of those grid boxes? Label them. This one is -4, 9. So -4, +9. We're going to call that 0.1 because it's on the left-hand side. And this one over here, the coordinate is 4, 5. We're going to call that 0.2 because it's on the right-hand side. All right, get your y point from 0.2. So y there is 5. And take away your y point from 0.1. Y at my first point is 9. 5 take 9. Now do the same with the x points. What's my change in x? So my second x point, so 2 and x is 4. And my first x point is -4, which was a coincidence. So if we're taking away a negative, we're actually adding it. So 4 plus 4. And the other way you can look at that is, all right, how many x values has it moved? So my x value there was 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're even with that dot. So it's moved across 8, which is right. Yeah, 4 plus 4. And simplify it. 5 take 9 is -4. And 4 plus 4 is 8. Can the fraction -4 over 8 be simplified? Absolutely. Simplify it right down. It's the same as saying -1/2. So in this case, m is equal to -1/2. And you may see that written like I just did then. It can also be written like that, or it could also be written like that. As long as there's a negative in there, that means that it's going down. And we can check that. Bang. Anytime you're doing this, please make sure you're checking, all right, if it's a negative number I come out with, I know that graph needs to be heading down, left to right. If m is equal to a positive number, that graph should be going left to right and heading up that way. And just quickly before we finish, 2 more gradients we need to know. This guy here, the equation for it is y equals 3. It just heads straight across. There's no x in there. Y equals 3. So it doesn't matter what x is, y will always equal 3. So we call that a gradient of 0. And this guy here, when it's heading straight up and down, we call that undefined. Because if we assign some points, so say like here and here, this is just random, it's not to scale. But let's call this was x equals 3, and that was -4, and x still equals, x should equal 2, and that was still -4, and this is x equals 2, y equals 6. If I did my right run, change in y over change in x, it'd be -4 take 6, which is negative 10. And it'd be 2 take 2, which is 0. Now on your calculator, if you type in negative 10 divided by 0, it actually comes up with the words undefined. It says undef or error or something along those lines. You can't actually divide a number by 0. And that's why the gradient there is undefined.